When I first played Xenoblade Chronicles, I hadn't thought much of Melia. I didn't dislike her, not by any stretch of the imagination. I just didn't pay her too much mind, especially since I didn't really like playing as her on my first playthrough. However, after playing the game a few more times and re-examining the plot, she has easily become my second favorite character in the game. In fact, she sometimes challenges my first place Xenoblade character for that spot. But for now, here she is in honorable mentions. Born to the royal throne of the High Entia in the city of Alchemoth, Melia was born as a mixed breed with half High Entian blood and half Hom's blood. Destined to inherit the throne one day, she never once felt capable of that inheritance, not helped by the fact that she is forced to hide her half Hom's heritage from all of her subjects. Even still, she does everything in her power to live up to this destiny, even if it constantly seems that the world is working against her. If anything describes Melia most for me, it's doing your absolute best even in spite of all that life throws at you. Saying that the princess has it rough would be an unfortunately gross understatement. The very first we see of her, outside of one of Shulk's visions, is her not just losing in a battle against the Leone Telethia, but losing all of her trusted knights as well. Following that is a plotted assassination attempt on her, planned by her own stepmother, a pure-blooded High Entia with a hatred for the mixed breed. This plot occurs while she's already struggling to prove herself to her people by traversing the High Entia tomb. Soon after that, she must witness her home being attacked by the Mechon, and her father being killed right in front of her by the claws of Metalface. From there on, she ventures with the main party to stop the Mechon's constant assault on the Bionis and avenge her father, but even throughout this she must suffer from the dissatisfaction and inferiority stemming from her feelings for Shulk, when he is so clearly interested in Fiora solely. These examples comprise just a sample of what Melia must endure throughout Xenoblade's plot, and it only gets worse from here. While I am clearly not above spoiling the story's plot to best explain the character that I am focusing on, I've already mentioned at least 2 big spoilers in the past couple minutes, I will leave out one especially devastating plot point that occurs near the end of the game. If you've played the game, you can probably deduce what I'm talking about. Just letting a character suffer for the entire duration of a plot isn't enough to make a character good, of course. While this does make me feel sympathy for Melia, what makes me admire her as her character is her ability to recover from these circumstances that would bring many to their knees in despair. In spite of all the hardships thrown at her, Melia always found a way to move forward. Even still, she is still allowed to be quite vulnerable, making it no secret just how much these things have impacted her. These two aspects coexist, almost as if to say that it's okay to mourn, but it is still possible to move forward. And Melia's forward progression is seen best in the new extra story, Future Connected, where Melia takes the role of main protagonist this time. While Future Connected isn't a perfect story by any means, it hits it out of the park for its development of Melia. I fully expected this story to place heavy emphasis on Melia's feelings for Shulk and them continuing to be unreciprocated, but instead I was pleasantly surprised to see far greater strides made for her character. We get to see Melia finally take to the High Entia throne and get insight on the decisions that she will make in order to create a better future for her people, showing how she has moved past the grief from the first game while still not forgetting what has been lost and cherishing it in her heart. In spite of all the setbacks and pain, she really did forge her own path to the future, as well as a path for all High Entia to follow.